No, what I want to talk to you tonight about is something that's very, very, very dear to my heart. And I pray that in the next few minutes, it's not going to be long. We're hopefully not going into overtime. If God goes into overtime, we go there. Hopefully it won't be that long, but I want to share with you what God has really, really, really birthed in my spirit, and that is passion. Passion. We are all born with a passion. We often feel that with many things, good and bad, but we are all born with a passion. I've got a couple of videos tonight, and I want you just to watch this first video. Just watch this first video and just get lost in what you see. And then after the video, I'm going to ask, I want to see if anybody can tell me what they saw. So if you guys have got that first video, waiting on Matt to get back. Man, hey, you guys do this, all right? He's here, but do this. You guys give Matt a hand. He's up and down the stairs, punching this button, and then running back and pulling this fader, and life at Journey would be different without Matt Carroll. I thank you, buddy. Passion, that's good for tonight. Thank you, buddy.
Now I want you, one more time before I have you sit down, I want you to lift up your voice and I want you to praise Jesus. One last time, come on. Have I told you? Imagine what heaven's gonna be like. There won't be, listen, hold on. There won't be 15,000. There will be millions upon millions upon millions. But we're gonna simultaneously catch another glimpse of Jesus and spontaneously erupt in praise.
Can anybody tell me what they just saw? Passion. Wow. 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 He said, I want to give you one last opportunity. And they took it. They took it. Passion. Everybody worships different. Worship is something that's dear to me. It goes way back. I said earlier, at 4 years old, I was on stage. Dad, thanks. We had a drummer, but Dad wanted to nurture and mentor me to do this, so I had a snare drum and a tambourine. And we had a drummer, and a very good drummer, that went on to make a living playing music. And I'd sit beside him with my tambourine and my snare and beat the fool out of it. I mean, so bad that we started out drumsticks, and then it was a little disruptive, so we went to number 2 pencils, and then it was still a little too loud, and we went to straws. But I was still going through the motion. So music is something that goes way back. Dad was minister of music. Whatever church we were at where he was leading worship, whatever musician we didn't have, Dad said, son, I need a drummer. Okay, Dad. Son, I need a bass player. Okay, Dad. So that goes way, way, way back. So passion, music, worship, that is something that's just like crazy, crazy dear to me. And when Pastor asked me the other night to do this, that was the first thing I felt in my spirit. It was like, well, you have to talk about something that you know about. And God has blessed me. He has very much so blessed me with the gifting and the ability to play music. And I've always had a love for music, but not necessarily worship. I didn't really understand worship, I guess. Growing up, we were in church. Like I said, Dad was minister of music, but it got to the point that if they paid, I played. And God has been doing a work in my life, understanding more and more worship and the passion for worship. At the end of the day, Dad didn't give me that talent. He did. And I would be a fool. A fool. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to many friends of the family who God-given talents and abilities and not use them and honestly lose them. You see them sit down to play again, it's like, what happened, you know? So God has birthed something in me, and that is a passion for music and for worship. So like I said, this will be short and sweet. Hoiky-joiky, is that how he says it? Who knows? They've got scriptures up there. I hope we go the way that I've laid them out. We may not. But I looked up the word passion, and hopefully this will help everybody else to understand. When I found that video, I was like, okay, God, I need something to help me with this tonight. Passion. What is passion? A strong feeling of enthusiasm or excitement for something or about doing something. A strong, compelling emotion. Couple of synonyms for the word passion: affection, attachment, devotedness, devotion, fondness, and love. Passion. If I have to tell you how much I love my wife and my daughter, am I really passionate about them? Or does it show? I hope. Now, there's some days my wife probably, I don't know if you are or not. I hope it shows. That is one thing that I tell my wife and my daughter. If I tell them one time a day, I tell them 100 times a day, I love you. I love you. You know how much I love you? I love you mostest. I love you more. And that's all good and fine. That may be the last time I ever get to say it. I want to make sure I say it. But Most importantly, I need to show them. Not only do I need to show them, I need to show you guys. You guys need to know that I have a burning passion for my wife and for my daughter, right? All right? This is interesting. Antonyms. Abomination. That's strong. Hate, hatred, loathing. So if you're not passionate about something, there it is. Worship. Well, I don't worship like that. I used to didn't too. For those of you who don't know this by what I do up here, I grew up playing on the same stage as a group called the McCameys. Anybody know who the McCameys are? Anybody know who the Singing Cooks are? Anybody know who Naomi and the Seagulls? So I haven't always jumped and gasped for breath and banged on a loud guitar, and I haven't. So there was a time when I would have said, I don't worship like that. I can remember the first time somebody asked me about a song by Carmen. I was like, who? Carmen. He's like, and I listened to it and I thought, that's not like Christian music. We're talking Carmen. That's not Christian music. Now I listen to Carmen, I'm like, wow. And I used to think that pushed the envelope. But passion is, passion and the lack thereof is contagious. Very, very contagious. And I like to look at it like this. If I say I'm passionate about something, and I'm passionate about worship, I'm passionate about music, I'm passionate about worship, but when I'm given the opportunity to do so, I don't. Or, and just think about this. If this was all you did, that's contagious. What if, JC, what if you did that? Well, Bill's going to have to be really strong, and guess what Bill's going to start doing? He's going to start worshiping like you. Then it's contagious. So passion or the lack thereof is highly, highly, highly contagious. So we have to be very careful. We say we're passionate. We have to show that. Like I show my wife and my daughter. Like I hope I show you guys that I love my wife and my daughter. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord, not for men. Passion. Passion. If I'm doing it for Mr. Ray, I'm going to do my best not to let Mr. Ray down. But I'm human. If Mr. Ray runs around in my shadow 24/7, I'm going to let him down. As for the Lord, not for men. To me, that's passion. That's passion. God is a passionate God. He passionately loves some things and passionately hates others. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about, and he just straight up down said it. He said, I'm sick and tired of hearing the church say, well, all we can do is love them. He said, love is action. He said, when he busted up in the temple, he didn't walk in and say, now listen, I know this might offend some of y'all, but y'all are going to have to pack up, and I'd rather y'all do, you can do it outside on the steps, but no. He passionately hates other things. As you grow closer to Him, He'll give you a passion for something He cares deeply about, so you and me, so we can be a spokesperson for Him in this lost and dying world. A passion. It may be a passion about a problem, a purpose, a principle, or even a group of people. What's happening right now? What is happening right now? And what is happening right now is not their fault. Do y'all believe that? It's not their fault. That 0.03% of that population that is so brainwashed right now, of which way's up, which bathroom to go in, that's not their fault. We'll go a little further with that in a little while. A group of people. Whatever it is, you'll feel strongly compelled to it, to speak up about it, and to do whatever you can to make a difference. Getting out of your comfort zones. Everybody, just naturally, whatever you got in your hand, lay it down and fold your arms. Just cross-fold your arms. All right, now, notice which hands where. Undo your arms. Now fold them the other way. See what I'm saying? Yes. We're all in this together. I can't do it either. I can't do it either. But whatever it is, you'll feel compelled to it, to speak up about it, and do whatever you can to make a difference. And that may mean crossing your arms different than you used to cross your arms. That's the best example I know. Comfort zone. I am way, way, way out of my comfort zone. And I promise I spilt my water on my pants a while ago. I'm not that nervous. I am out of my comfort zone, but I spilt my water, okay? You cannot, once you pray that God births a passion in you, you cannot keep yourself from talking about it. What you care about the most. Jesus said in Matthew 12:34, a man's heart determines his what? His speech. His speech. So all these folks running around, this 0.03% of the population, what's coming out of their mouth? I saw Kim earlier. Is she still in here? It's the crap in their heart. It is. It's jacked up. And it's not, it's my fault. It's your fault. It's your fault because of lack of passion. Passion or the lack thereof is contagious. So because of my lack of passion, because of my lack of passion for the things of God, the truth that I know with everything in me, that I've been raised, my word, all my life. Mom was like this and in house shoes on stage singing. Feet swollen so big that she couldn't put on shoes. So I've been there. I know. But somewhere down the line, I've kept my mouth shut. Because had I been passionate about this, were y'all here the other night when Michael Lake was speaking of the warlock and what they see? Yes. They stay away from that Christian. Why? Because they see something. They see this, or if it's somebody that's really sold out to this, they're engulfed. Somewhere in my life, I have not been engulfed with this. Because if I had been, 0.03% of the population would not even be heard right now. They would not be. It's my fault. It's not their fault. It's my fault. They've been deceived. I'm 43 years old. Do you know how many opportunities I've had to say, oh, you're not gay? You're not supposed to have on that dress. Get out of that bathroom. How many opportunities have you had? Mr. Ray's 44. How many opportunities? You know what I'm saying? We say we're passionate about it, but are we really passionate about it? The things of God? 2 examples. David said, my zeal for God and his work burns hot within me. Passion. Jeremiah says, your message burns in my heart and my bones, and I cannot keep silent. What did we see in that video a while ago? It's passion, contagious. Now, if he had said, give you one last opportunity, let's raise this roof of praise. If everybody had done, it wouldn't have took but a few people to do this. And a few more people would have done this. And they would have moved on with their live DVD. As it is, I've been there recording live DVDs and live records, and that just jacked up the whole program for that night. I promise you it did. I don't care how spiritual you are. You've got a window of time. You're paying studios. You're paying producers. God decided that he was going to show that room full of people something different. That didn't make it to the DVD, but thank God for YouTube. It did make it to YouTube. Passion is contagious. God gives some people a godly passion to champion a cause. It's often a problem that they personally experienced, such as abuse, addiction, depression, a disease, or some other difficulty. How many of you heard Brother George's testimony? What's he doing now? Heading up CR. When he speaks about that program, what do you see? Passion. Passion. I thank God for that. It blows me away. The night he gave his testimony, I mean, you look at a man, he's got it all together. And then he gives that testimony of how broken and how lost and how. So now, because of that, there's a passion there. Sometimes God gives a passion to speak. Sometimes God gives people a passion to speak up for a group of others who can't speak for themselves. The unborn. What in the world? Again, why has that happened? Why are we having to protest that mess? Because somewhere down the road, me, you, the church that was so full of passion for the things of God has kept our mouths shut because we did not want to offend anybody. The unborn, the persecuted, the poor, the imprisoned, the mistreated, the disadvantaged, and those who are denied justice. Lack of passion. Lack of passion. 2 Timothy 4, 3 and 4. I think this is a perfect example of something that God passionately hates. It says, "For the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions, and will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myths." What's happening? Look at our government. Look at our government. And what are they doing? Searching for more teachers. More teachers. My wife works in public education. Man, it's amazing. It is amazing. When she started, this is what, 18, just finished her 18th year, 19th year? Golly, we're old, babe. She loved those kids. She loved the fact that she could give back. She loved the fact that Bible school was last week. This week, little Johnny comes in to tell her he got saved in Bible school and got baptized Sunday. Because at that time, 19 years ago, Krista got to spend time with those kids. She knew who Mimi and Papa was. She knew who cousins were. She knew what their ball schedule was. She knew where they went to church. She knew the ones who didn't go to church. They knew she went to church, what she believed in, her faith. They shared things like that with her. Now, today, your kids left at lunch. Half the kids in her class, she don't have a clue who they are. She don't know who their mom and dad is. If they got a mom and dad, they don't know. It's pitiful. It is pitiful. So even in our school system, they are doing what? Creating teachers to continue, because that's their passion. That is their passion. That is their passion. All right, I know I'm going like all over the place. So they'll wander off into myths. Myths, a widely held yet false belief or idea. That's straight up where we are. Straight up where we are. God uses passionate people to further His kingdom. The passion or the lack thereof. Pastor made mention this past Sunday about the ball field. And when he started talking about it, I eased my feet like this because I was on the front and I was afraid, okay, because we're on the ball field on Saturdays. We're swinging a bat. But what did Pastor see when he passed that ball field? He saw passion. This is my daughter's 3rd year playing softball. We had the opportunity last year. Brian Fowler, wow. There are godly people at the ball field. I'll get there. Not at all discrediting what Pastor said. We're just like everybody else. We're trying to find the latest, greatest $400 bat that's got the best pop on it. No, I'm not going to get $400 for it. I'm a wheeler and dealer, and I'm going to find one that somebody outgrew for $100, and it pops just as hard as the $400. Why do we do that? We're passionate. If we're going to go on Saturday, I'm not going to sit in the sun all day. I'm going to set my tent up. I'm going to pack my cooler. They got, the wifey's got the softball blingy shirts, and daughter's got that bat bag. She's got that bat that pops, because we're passionate about it. We played under Brian Fowler last year, and I wished he was here. You can tell him. Passion. I don't know any other way to put it, but passion. When he would key in and know what those kids were capable of, you bet your bottom dollar he did not let them pack up their stuff until they had done it, because he was passionate about 2 things. You can have multiple passions. It's okay. Number 1 was his love of the game. He loved that game. If he was going to be there 3 or 4 nights a week practicing, if he was going to be there on the weekend playing ball, he was not doing it to put a big L beside that date on the schedule. He was doing it to put a big W. He was passionate about it. But something else he was passionate about, every game, he didn't say, all right, we're going to gather around and we're going to pray, and if that offends anybody, you can step off over there. We're going to pray. He didn't do that. We're going to pray. We're going to pray. He was passionate about 2 things. He loved that game, but he also loved those kids. And he knew some of those kids, that was the only Bible that they were going to read. He was passionate about what he did. Just a few people I hate to not say pick on, but I guess pick on. Few names that came to mind, examples, and I could talk about, but I said it wasn't going to be long. Matt Carroll, and I brought it up earlier. I don't know where he's at now, but you guys just do not know. The nights that I'm up here, and I look around, and I'm not the only clown still here at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. I look around, and there's Matt. Now, given Matt's usually saying, come on, man, how much longer are you going to be up here? I said, man, we got to go, dude. We can come back tomorrow night. Yes, he is, but he's still here, okay? When I see that, Matt has been here since they were meeting down here in the curve, in the little storefront. Matt can tell you where this wire, where that wire, this beam is that many feet above the... Why? Not because, well, some of it was because there was nobody else to do it, yes. But there is a gifting, and there is an anointing on Matt to do that. And he has not sat on his rear end and let somebody else do it. He has been passionate about it. Passionate about it. Matt, what do you think about this? Well, that'd be good, but I mean, if we're going to do that, we might as well do this and do it like this, and then that way we don't ever have to go back and revisit it again. It's done. Passion. Passion. There are so many things, so many hours that me and him could look at each other and went, yeah, that's good. That'll be fine. Cover it back up. Nobody, it's just me and you, cover it up, screw that back together, put the ceiling tile in, nobody will ever know. No, that's not passion. That is not passion. Put me and him together, it's long and lengthy, and then a lot of times you're like, yeah, that's good. And then you get back tomorrow night and you slip on it, and you're like, it'll take 2 hours to undo it and do it this way, but let's go ahead and do it because it's right. Whoever comes along next. This light bar is a perfect example. When Pastor first came up 14 years ago, I think, babe, when he first came up, we were with him at the last church where he was, and we came up with him, made the transition, and me and Matt moved that light bar then. It was like all different. We moved it then, and then shortly after we came back up this time, Me and Matt moved that light bar again. And when we moved that light bar that time, Matt said, I'm not moving that thing again. I am not. Me and you've moved that light bar 3 times. We're not moving it again. So this time, I remembered you said that, Matt, and this time we did not move the light bar. Instead, we added 2 more. So we didn't. I honored your request. We did not move the light bar. But when I look at Matt, passion. I mean, there's no other way to put it but passion. And when God births that passion in you, it is rare. Now, I have seen it. I have heard it. Some of you probably have too. And you know, where somebody will stand up and say, you know, I'm not supposed to sing, but I'm going to sing. Y'all don't listen the way we do it. Y'all just listen to the words. To that person, there is that situation where it didn't really line up like it's really supposed to line up, and you'd have been better off they just wrote the song down and you could have read it when you got home or whatever instead of them trying to sing it. But most of the time, if God births a passion in you, if you will put forth a little bit of effort, He will perfect that gift in you. Okay? Do I sing as well as the next guy? I got sense enough to know better. No, I know that. You don't see me on The Voice. You don't see me on American Idol. But God will, He will perfect that in you. Okay? So it is rare. When I see that with Matt, I see passion. I see him going above and beyond because he's passionate about what God has gifted him and anointed him to do. There's an anointing on him to do this stuff. I mean, if I was doing it, we would be getting a new facility because the old one would have already burned down. There's an anointing on him to do that. I mean, you can say what you want to about it, but there's an anointing. Wild Bill over here. I don't care what y'all see. When I see Wild Bill, I see passion. I do. Some of you guys, I've always missed it. Ever since we've been here, I've missed it. I've never seen him out there clowning on the side of the road. I'm always in here. I've got responsibilities. I don't get to see that. But how many times have I heard that? He's out there. He's like, you know, it don't matter. He's like, it don't matter what the weather's like. He's passion. Did anybody notice the little display in the foyer Sunday, the little one, you know, about the plugging in and getting connected? Did anybody notice the little one out there, the smallest one? That's Bill. What do y'all see? A bunch of lumber and a bunch of time invested. No. I see passion. I see passion. How many of you has ever been down to Miss Martha's clinic? You ever been down there? And you left going, I'm going to die. We got to get rid of the microwave. We've got to get rid of the phone. The alarm clock can't be beside the bed. I'm drinking water. It's got dope in it. I got metal fillings in my mouth. I got to go live in a cave. Seriously. What? But, okay. As bad as we all were when we left there, what did we do? Man, I sat down. I couldn't hardly sit down when I went to see her with my back. But when I went to see her, she says, you're drinking a gallon of tea a day, 2 cups of sugar in that tea? Yes, ma'am. You're eating at least a half a gallon of ice cream every night before you go to bed? Yes, ma'am. She said, no wonder your back hurts. She said, if it wasn't for your back and the injury in your back, your feet would be rotting off with gout. What did I do when I left there? Cold turkey. I don't care what they say about caffeine and you feeling like you got the flu, and if you don't get it, you're going to... I went home and cried like a baby and said, I can't have no more ice cream. And she said the tea was like the scar tissue, and my phone, I got to put it on the dresser. I can't put it by the bed. And do you think I'll hear the alarm clock if I put it over there? Our internet, babe, it's Wi-Fi. Am I lying, babe? Did I not do that? What do you see when you see Miss Martha? Passion. She's passionate about that. God has gifted her, and she got off her rear end. And she'd done something with what God birthed in her. She perfected it. And when you left there, now, I'm sorry, Martha, but my phone is back on the nightstand by the bed. I'm not drinking tea like I was, and I eat ice cream on occasion. But what did we do? In what little way we could, her passion for that and being healthy was contagious. Everybody that went there, you didn't go see her, and she tell you all this stuff, and then you leave there and go, and just carry right on with what you were doing. Because her passion was what? Contagious. It was contagious. So what did we do? We tried our best in our own little way, and some of us are weaklings and struggle with it daily. I have a soft drink every now and then because water gets old. But anyway, I see passion when I see Miss Martha. Simple, we talk about the little things, overlooking the little things, simple little things. Anybody ever seen Mr. Ray's garden? Holy nuts. It's passion. Passion. Okay? And then it goes further. Miss Linda is passionate about what he does with his garden. So what does she do? Takes what he does in the garden, and what is she in the kitchen? Good night. Passionate. Passionate. I just see passion. Everybody else sees this old man out there playing in the dirt. I see passion, and I see usually pickles. The wifey loves the pickles, but I see passion. So that's seriously, that's where we are. I believe with everything in me, our government, our leaders, and I know this goes beyond this room, but so be it. Our president, right or wrong, he has a passion right now. And because he's being with that passion, it's contagious. And he's rallying troops around him. And he is beginning to birth this passion. And again, I say it's not their fault. It's our fault because we said we were, but we have not been passionate about it. One of the best examples that I could find in the Bible about an outpour of passion. Simple. I think I got a star for this one in Sunday school. John 3:16. Passion. Passion. I love you guys with everything in me, but there ain't no way that I'd give my little Miss Brantley Claire for a one of you. I love you guys. I do. I would do anything in the world for you except. That's my baby. No. You can carry your own sins. You can pay your own debt. John 3:16, passion. Just passion. Passion. God gives us different passions, so everything He wants done in the world will get done. You should not expect everyone else to be passionate about your passion. Bad guilty. Bad guilty. Well, why? So why are they not? Why? Well, I mean, God gave this to me, and I just knew that it was going to. God gave it to who? He gave it to me. He didn't give it to them. You're going to find people to get on board. You're going to find people that don't. I've done it. I've seen it done. Okay. The video is the back of y'all's head, so nobody really knows y'all. How many of you's done it? God's birthed something in you, and you feel like this is it, and nobody jump on board with you and you get your feelings hurt. How many's done that? Be honest. It's just us. We're family. It's happened. Chris, it's happened. It's to more people than not, it's happened. To the point, and pastors even said it here, they poot and whine and leave the church. So not everybody, but if God truly birthed that passion in you, carry on. Carry on. Instead of pooting and whining, it's in my notes, about no one else sharing in your passion, listen to and value each other's life message. Because nobody in this room can say it all. No way. Never belittle someone else's godly passion. Never. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to have time for it. If it was just something they ate and it wasn't really a move of God, that's between them and God. That's between them and God. That's dangerous. Don't belittle someone else's godly passion. I got another video, and I promise this one's very short. When I said that about God birthing a passion in you, He will, and it's different for everybody. We got one here that plays wind instruments. Wind instruments? Really? I was in band 6th grade through 12th grade. Funny, couldn't read a lick of music, but was in band. Wind instruments, I tried that. Just in the process of trying that to see what instrument I could play, I about passed out. That's her passion. What did she do? She got off of her rear end and she worked on that and she perfected that. She put herself in a position where people were over her to help mentor her, right? It is rare that God will birth something in you if you take the steps, the proper steps, and seek the mentorship and the shadowing of someone else operating in that. It's rare that it still kind of stinks and it's not productive, but it does happen. Here's a quick example of how it happens. So it can happen. I am thankful, and I tell my team all the time, well, let me rephrase that. I tell God's team that He allows me to be part of all the time. Corey, dude, your passion. Man, I cannot thank you enough. Corey is nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. But when I look at Corey, man, I remember years ago, nobody was there but me and Corey. this little old country church, and we knelt in an altar, and he said, man, I don't know how to pray. I don't know what to say. I've never done this. I said, man, just pray what's in your heart. I stopped and looked at him, and I thought, what in the world is he doing? This guy, I've been in church all my life. This guy just goes off praying like, I'm thinking. I said, man, you pray what's in your heart. You get through praying, man, I'll pray for you. I'll pray over you. Now I'm scratching my head. I'm thinking, what in the world am I going to pray? I mean, this guy just does it. That day, God birthed something in that guy. He already played music, but God birthed a passion in him for worship. Thank you. Thank you. All these guys on this platform, man, they have a passion. My goodness, they have a passion. They drive me when I don't drive myself. They drive me. This tech team, passion. They drive me when I don't drive myself. So thank God for a team full of passion. The Bible says it's fine to be zealous, provided that the purpose is good. That's in Galatians 4:18. So it's okay. I think there's a fine line between pride and proud. Wild Bill, be proud of that display out there. You know what I'm saying? Be proud of that display. Well, he just did that so he has to be bigger than everybody else. No, he didn't. He did it because he's passionate about Connection Point. Why is he passionate about Connection Point? Because when they rolled in, this couple right here was passionate about Connection Point. All right? Now what's happening? I already see it. There's a picture of me and you. Krista said, what in the world were y'all laughing about? I said, he gave me trail mix. But he was passionate when he gave it to me. It's contagious. See, started here. This was Connection Point. Then this was Connection Point. Now this is Connection Point. You see what I'm saying? It's contagious. Contagious. So, what passion has God given you? Something to think about. It looks rough this year, but when you come down our street, you don't have to go, man, that guy right there really cares about his yard. I wonder if that guy cares about his yard. Man, those people, they don't ever cut their grass. When you come down our street, you don't have to know which house is mine. I don't care if you know. If you come, bring a bucket of chicken. But when you leave my street, I don't have to tell you, but I can ask you. You know that I'm passionate about my yard. Do I like getting out there doing it? No. Did I like slinging 50 bags of mulch for my wife the other morning and was already sweating by 7 o'clock? No. I did not like doing it. I don't like doing it. It hurts my back. I don't like mowing. I don't like slinging the weed eater because I edge everything every time I mow, and we're a corner lot, and there's a whole bunch of concrete from the guy's driveway all the way around the corner down. I don't like doing it because she wants me to wear safety glasses, and they fog up, and I can't see. Jesse stays on me all the time up here, too. I don't like safety glasses. But even though I sling stuff in my eyes and my shins are bleeding, and when I get done, it used to be sweet tea till Martha got on to me. When I get done and I sit down on my patio and my wife brings me water, I can be proud, just like your display. I can be proud that I'm passionate about what God has blessed me with, what God has given me. So what passion has God given you? It can be your yard. It can be your daughter's $400 bat. But there's some things of God that we are to be passionate about. There's scriptures and scriptures and scriptures and scriptures and scriptures that we are to be passionate about to keep this 0.03% of the population from burning in hell. Because at the end of the day, that's exactly it. At the end of the day, it ain't going to make a flip what bathroom, Target, Bell, it ain't going to matter. What's going to matter is because you kept your mouth shut about what you said you were so passionate about, they are spending eternity burning because we had a lack of passion. What are you currently doing to pursue that passion that God has birthed in you? We have to be proactive. One of the things that Miss Krista and their school has adopted, and I can't remember a lot of things, but I can remember this: begin with the end in mind. So what are you doing, currently doing, to pursue that passion? At the end of the day, kingdom. What are you doing? Do you believe God wants you to do something more or even different to accomplish his goals in growing the kingdom? And this one's very important. How can you support the godly passions of your friends, your family, your coworkers, your church? If Sunday morning there'll probably be 200 or so here. If the 200 people that were here Sunday morning combusted, it's the only word I know to use. It may not be right. It's probably wrong tense, babe, but I'm sorry. If that happened with the 200 people that's going to be here Sunday morning, no doubt about it, this place, there's not enough chairs. There's not enough room to put more chairs. There's not enough space on the property we now own to contain the facility we will need if these 200 people will get passionate and be active with the passion that God has birthed in them. I believe that with everything in me.